Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Marilyn and my channel is Making with Marilyn. Now over the years I've used about 8 different lasers on my channel. I've used CO2 lasers and I've used diode lasers. And a couple of the diode lasers that I've used also have infrared technology. Well, on today's video we're going to use a new technology, and that is to use a fiber laser. This is the ComMarker B6 20-watt fiber laser. It's a galvo-style laser, which simply means that near the laser head, you have mirrors that are directing the beam to where it needs to process. The thing about this is it is very, very fast. You don't have the travel time that you have on a gantry in a typical laser. So a typical laser, you have your laser head, it's on a gantry system, it's moving forward, backward, the laser is moving side to side. It takes a lot of time. With this galvo style system, it is very fast. So what's a fiber laser good for? Well, mainly, or the predominant thing that I think it's great for is engraving in metal. Now, a few weeks ago, this was all very new to me. So I want to go through how I figured out what settings to use. I want to show you a little bit about the software, and then I want to do a couple of projects. So if that's something you're interested in, sit back, relax, and let's get started. Now, first of all, this laser was very easy to put together. You have the piece that the laser head is in, you have the post, you have this base plate, and then you have the guts of the machine. There's also a thin plastic piece that goes between the base plate and the guts of the machine, or the part that holds the guts of the machine. Within about 15 minutes, this thing was put together, and I was ready to move on to software. The software that this uses is called EasyCAD, and I'm using EasyCAD 2. You can also use Lightburn with this, but you do have to upgrade your Lightburn to work with galvo-style lasers. Along with the machine, you also have an extra post that you can attach in case you want to raise this. If you want to do something really tall under this, you have an extra post that can raise that up. I don't plan to do that myself, but I did keep that extra piece just in case. With lasers, one of the very most important things is safety. With a lot of lasers, safety from inhaling toxins and smoke, but another thing to always consider is the safety of your eyes. Because this is not in an enclosure, even though you can get an enclosure for it, it's not in an enclosure, and you always want to use your safety glasses. These came with the laser as well. Now let me move this and show you a little mistake that I made when I was getting used to working with this laser. Yes, I scratched up my base plate. On the front of the laser, you have an emergency off. I actually used this when I was ruining my base plate. To make the laser stop, you just press that in. After you've stopped the laser, you just turn it, and then your laser can be used again. There's also a power button, which will turn on in a few minutes. There's an up button and a down button. You can use these to raise and lower your laser head to get it to focus, but so far I haven't used those. There's also up and down buttons on top. I haven't used those either because there is an autofocus, and that's what I've always used. It comes with a cover over your laser head. You do need to remove that. Now, if you're not a fan of focusing with buttons or the autofocus here, there is also a knob up there that you can turn to raise or lower this to get it into focus. Again, I've only used the autofocus button up here, and it's worked out beautifully. Now, I did a lot of sample engravings to come up with the settings that I thought worked well for all of these materials. These are some bottle openers that I got off of Amazon. And for this one, you can see that I ended up using a power of 100 and a speed of 100. This gets you a very, very dark and beautiful engrave on these. This is a stainless steel bottle opener. Now, I also bought some black ones of these, and that's how it turned out with a power of 100 and a speed of 1000. When you use that same setting on the silver ones, basically, it is a very shallow engrave. It looks good, but if you're looking for a darker engrave, let me show you that here in just a minute. This was also a power of 100 and a speed of 1000. Now the whole thing that started this was actually this piece right here. You can see all these different power settings and speeds that I tried. I have more on the back. I tried circles. In the end, for these black ones, what I really liked was this power of 100 and the speed of 1000. I also made a slate coaster. For this, I used a power of 100 and a speed of 350. This is a dog tag that I got off of Amazon, and I tried two settings on that, a power of 100 and a speed of 1000, as well as a power of 80 and a speed of 1000. I thought the power of 100 was better. This is a faux leather patch. In the end, I like the power of 15 and the speed of 1000, but it really wasn't much different than bumping it up to a power of 25. On these, I tried several settings. They weren't much different. I did note on there that when you do these really thin, flimsy cards, you do have to clean them off. So after you engrave on them, they're not going to look like that. They're going to look like they didn't really engrave well. You take alcohol and a paper towel, scrub them, and they look fine. I also noted it on this red card. You have to clean these. And in the end, I liked a power of 100 and a speed of 1000. Now this was a little piece of jewelry, and I engraved the word "high" on it, and it is a very dark engrave. Let me show you on the back of this. Those words are tiny, and I'm hoping the camera picks up that they're very clear. I did that on the ComMarker fiber laser. These are some thicker business cards that I got from ComMarker. They actually came in a sample pack that was with the machine. Let me show you. Power of 100, speed 1000 was beautiful. Then I tried all the way down to a power of 100, speed of 100. The problem was it was not only taking off the coating, but then it was starting to engrave down into the metal, and so it was starting to turn it gray. So with this one, that power of 100, speed of 1000 was perfect. Another really thick, heavy dog tag that came with the machine, and then this dog tag came with it also. On this one, I did a power of 100 and a speed of 1000 for the top one. It is engraved, but it didn't turn it dark. And then on the bottom one, I did the power of 100 and the speed of 100, and that's where I got the really dark, rich engrave. So the point in showing you these is, if you get a laser, it doesn't matter if it's a fiber laser, a diode laser, a CO2 laser, you might have to try several different settings before you come up with a setting you're really happy with. Now we're ready to go ahead and start with our project. The first thing I need to do is I need to connect my laser to my computer. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then typically I would turn it on now, but it's very loud. So let's go ahead and start with the software first. So this is what the software looks like when I open it. Again, this is EasyCAD, and I'm using EasyCAD 2. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to File, and I'm going to bring in the design. And I'm going to go right up here to File, Import Vector, and I'm going to choose this one down here, Murphy. You can see it right here, so now I click on Open. Now that came in huge. Let's go ahead and click on it, and then as it is selected, I can change the size right here. Now I'm not real familiar with millimeters, but I've been working with this enough to know that I want it to be somewhere around 40-45 millimeters. When I type in this dimension, because the padlock's on, it changes both the height and the width. So let's hit Enter, and now it is somewhere on my screen. So let's go ahead and zoom out and find it. Here it is. So I'm going to click on it, And then I'm just going to drag it right down here to the center of my working space. All right, let's go ahead and zoom back out. Now notice that it is just set to engrave the lines around it. Let me make this really large. That would not look good. So I'm going to click on it. Then you go right up here to this H, and you can see how it is filled in. I'm going to click on that. They call it hatch. And I'm going to say OK, and that's filled in. All right, I'm going to move it over a little bit more in the center. I just like it to be in the center because that way the laser's facing straight down and it's not at an angle. Now to do the rest, I need to probably turn my laser on, but I can do one more thing. Notice right here, it says use default parameters. To change the settings, I need to check that off. Now I want a power of 100 and a speed of 100. So I'm going to back up over that 1000 and type in 100 and hit enter. Now let's go ahead and turn the machine on. You hold the power button on for a couple of seconds. And this little thing pops up. I just say OK. Now it's time to go ahead and put my metal blank on the machine. Now there is a little red dot. Hopefully you can see that red dot right here. You can probably see it on my finger. That is how you have the machine focus at the right height. So the red dot is on my material. Now I need to hit auto up here. Now that it's at the right height, I can move this anywhere I want to on the base of this. Now to see exactly where I want it on my computer, I click right here the word red. Now before I do that, I'm going to put my glasses on because when I made the mistake that did that, instead of hitting red, I accidentally hit mark and it took off. And I didn't have my glasses on. So I hit that button on the front that stopped it real quick. And I've decided that before I even hit red, just in case I made that same mistake, I'm going to put my glasses on. So I'll click on red. And then the laser shoots out a red light and shows where it's going to process. So I'm going to have to get up, go to the front of the machine, and adjust that. So it is framing on my blank exactly the perimeter of where it's going to engrave. There is a square that you can screw down into this, but I haven't used it yet. But if you're going to be batch engraving, doing a lot of these, you can set that exactly where you want it, get your image where you want it, and then you'll always know that it's in the right place and it's nice and square. Once I click on mark, you're going to see the fiber laser start to engrave. Now, despite the fact that I wear these safety glasses, I never look directly at the lasering. I might glance at it to see where it is in the process, but I never really look at it. You might even see me do this. Or under these glasses, my eyes might be closed. All right, let's go ahead and turn that off so you can hear me just a little bit better. Now, I want to show you what this looks like before you clean it up. Let me go ahead and put this really close to the camera. You can see it looks good, but I'm going to clean it up with some alcohol and it'll look even better. So here's what it looks like before I clean it. And then it just gets nice and crisp after I clean that soot off. Now, I have really enjoyed working with this laser, so I will be doing additional videos with it. For today, I just wanted you to have a quick look at the machine. I wanted you to see how I mark on my substrates when I'm trying out various settings. I wanted to show you briefly the software, and I wanted you to see a project being made. Now, if you're interested in checking out this, I have a link in the video description below. I also have a discount code. Do your research, make sure you understand what a fiber laser does and what it doesn't do. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until my next one, bye-bye.